Well, guys, I'm about to review We Bury the Dead, and in preparation for this, I think I saw the funniest film review I've ever seen. An American film reviewer referred to Tasmania as the nation of Tasmania for his review of We Bury the Dead. I love you Americans, but you got to understand, you got America, and then you got a big world right around it, or outside it. But let's look deeper into We Bury the Dead. We Bury the Dead is written and directed by Zach Hilditch and stars Daisy Ridley, Mark Cole-Smith and Brenton Thwaites. In the film, after a catastrophic military disaster, the dead don't just rise, they hunt. The military insists they are harmless and slow-moving, offering hope to grieving families. But when Ava enters a quarantine zone searching for her missing husband, she uncovers the horrifying truth. The undead are growing more violent, more relentless, and more dangerous with every passing hour. So Zach Hilditch and the Australian Film Commission, a whole bunch of screening partners and financiers have funded We Bury the Dead, a zombie apocalypse film. However, this is a very different zombie film than we're probably used to. Now, I'm going to tell you right up here, I can't really do this review fully for those that have seen the film and want to hear another opinion on it without doing spoilers. So what I'm going to do is the first section of this is going to be completely spoiler free, and then the second section I am going to talk spoilers, and I will give you a warning when the spoilers are going to start. So trust me, if you're going in to see this film and you don't want spoilers, you're still going to enjoy this review. The spoilers will come later. You'll know when to turn off. So since I already discussed the director, the synopsis and the actors, I'm going to get straight into this review. This is a really mixed bag. Now, it's clearly very much an Australian film. Now, it has a budget for $10 million, and I think with the way things are done within the Australian film industry, which I am hoping to change with, I'm just going to give a plug here, with my debut feature film, which is now going to be a supermarket full of zombies. Check out the poster. This is a bit of a trial teaser poster, guys. I'm working on the screenplay at the moment. We're doing that as an independent feature film, and we want to do that for a budget for less than $1.5 million. So when we have a $10 million budget here, I was looking at the screen a lot thinking, okay, that looks really great. Yes, the visual effects look great, but wow, that kind of looks bad. That looks empty. This frame looks empty. Where did the $10 million go? That's what I was thinking. Now, obviously, Daisy really might have charged a few coins, and I think the film made the mistake that it was going to be this big hit or bigger and better because they were getting an international star, an international actress into the film. The problem with We Bury the Dead is two things mainly for me, and that is in the screenplay that Zach has written. Now look, I think this man is a talented director. I haven't seen his previous films. I would very much like to check them out. I think there's talent here, but I think his screenplay is kind of lost. Now, I don't know if stuff was cut out, and I'll give you an example. I'm going to speak about this more in the spoilers, so I'm going to be very careful how I say it here. But almost halfway into the film, there is a subplot involving Mark Cole-Smith character, who's a soldier. And that subplot there eradicates the build-up of another character, Clay, played by Brenton Thwaites, who teams up with Ava, and Clay and Ava team up to go and search to find her husband. And there's a lot of build-up with those two. But once the subplot starts, and you will know it when you see the film, because it involves this soldier and his backstory. Once that happens, Clay's gone, and you don't see Clay again for a long time. And what I think he should have done within the screenplay here is showed us what happened with Clay, and it could have been intercut. Scenes about him and what he went through to build tension through the film could have been intercut with the new subplot that involved the soldier and Ava. And later on in the film, Ava and Clay talk, and he in literally one line, discusses what happened with him to the point of, I'll tell you another time. So the audience gets cheated, and I think one of the worst things you can do as a screenplay writer and a director is cheat your audience. So we never get to find out what actually happened, what Clay was going through, and I think that is a big shame, because I actually really enjoyed his character and liked his character, and it would have just eased that audience, given us more appeal to think, okay, the script is more contained, it knows what it's doing, and it cares about these characters, because why give us so much time with this character and then just take him away? So I had a big issue with that. Overall, I do like the fact that this film is trying to be a little bit different, and it's trying to be more character-based, but unfortunately, again, with his screenplay, which I'm going to again talk more about in the spoilers, it's very convoluted, involving her character and what took place with her husband prior to this disaster. And within the story, the thing that just cracked me up the most is, now maybe I misheard this wrong, but America doing a military experiment off Tasmania. Why? First of all, there's no way the Australian government would allow it. Now, if it was just a boat that was sailing past and heading to Antarctica or somewhere else, maybe I missed that within the screenplay, within the dialogue. Maybe that got lost in translation. But even so, for this to take place in Tasmania of all places was really odd. So I looked up where the director lives, and he lives in Western Australia. So I'm thinking maybe he lives in Tasmania, that's why he's based it there. But he doesn't, he lives in Western Australia, so it makes even less sense to me why this is based in Tasmania, why America would do an experiment or allow a new bomb or whatever it is to be deployed there. Now, overall, the cinematography looks good, there's some beautiful framing in this film, shot composition's nice, but it's all kind of standard. It's long shots, a lot of long takes, just still static takes, allowing the actors to perform. There's nothing really new. Now, the biggest issue is the trailer sets this up from the opening of the trailer. It sets up that this is a full-on zombie film and there's going to be fast zombies and zombie attacks. There's not a whole lot of zombies in the film. And when you see the zombies, they're pretty much chained up anyway. So, look, I still enjoyed the film. I think there's enough here if you can afford to go out over the weekend and especially support Australian cinema. I still want any Australian cinema, you know, if there's effort and energy put into it to be supported. So please, guys, go out and support Australian cinema. But yeah, unfortunately, this didn't quite get over the bar for me. I think it's a fine film, and I still think it's worth a cinema watch. It would be better if there were more people in the audiences. I literally think I was the only audience member in the cinema. I was right up the back. I think there might have been 2 people at the front, but on the ticket sales, there were 2 other people. But I never saw them, and I never heard any laughter, and I laughed out loud a few times because there are some funny moments here. And the performances here are all really good. Like Daisy Ridley, she's got dramatic chops, so don't get played out with the whole Star Wars thing. That girl can act. Brendan Thwaites, he doesn't have much to go on, and he's trying to do his best, but unfortunately the screenplay doesn't dig into his character. And with the time that Mark Cole-Smith has on screen, he's frightening. I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, from the get-go you just think, yeah, this guy's creepy. And you think there's a bit of overacting, but it's not overacting because straight away it's part of his character and who he is. So overall, look, I enjoyed the film, guys, but now I'm letting you all know I am going to get into spoilers. Before I do, for those people who've watched and aren't switching off yet, I'm going to say the film is good. It's good. It's okay. Could you wait for streaming? I hate streaming, but I prefer you guys see it at the cinema. Okay, guys, now for the spoilers. So you've been warned. If you're planning on going to see the film and you don't want to know spoilers, jump off here, guys. Okay, so wow, where do I go here? Okay, so the subplot of the film, this is crazy. The subplot where Mark Cole-Smith character comes in, he is a soldier. And he has a wife who is pregnant, and we discover he tells Ava to come with him, and they're going to get a bite to eat, blah, blah, blah. He basically locks her in his home. She discovers that he's got a pregnant wife, but the pregnant wife is a zombie, so she's pregnant with a child. This subplot comes out of absolutely nowhere. It's almost like the GIMP scene in Pulp Fiction. It's like, but it's really like, it's actually really good. There's so much mood, there's so much tension. He's directed this really well, and both actors are phenomenal here in these scenes. Ava escapes. She hides in a shed, and she discovers there's a whole bunch of zombies chained up in the shed. She eventually stabs this crazy bastard in the neck. She gets out of there. She escapes. Then this is part of the problem, like I mentioned before. Brendan Thwaites' character of Clay, he should have been involved. There should have been either him coming to her rescue, him involved with maybe people that are in on all this with Mark Cole-Smith character, and then we see him escape, and they could have intercut that tension. So that was really lost here in this screenplay, unfortunately. Then randomly we see Clay show up later on, and he just doesn't tell us what he went through. So it's really robbing us. Then right towards the end of the film, they're in this truck and they're driving off, and you know the film's about to end, and we go past the place, we see the driveway of where the crazy guy lived, and they head down the road, and then there's this zombie appears in the middle of the road, and the zombie is the pregnant wife zombie of the crazy guy that she's just killed. And they both, Clay and Ava, get out of the car, and they see the zombie woman, and they don't go and attack her. They know something's up, and she's trying to communicate and tell them something, and then the zombie woman, the zombie wife, walks off, and they hear crying of this baby. They run into the field, they go into this field, and they find that there is a newborn baby. It is the baby of the zombie woman and the baby of the crazy guy. And Ava holds the baby, and the film ends. So look, guys, he took swings. I don't know if they all worked. I think that's a really interesting ending. I like the fact he took some swings, but if you're watching the trailer and you think this is an all-out full-on zombie film, it's not. It's a very slow-paced, even for 90 minutes. It gets you right to the point. It's very strange, this film, how to describe this, because it's like, it's slow-paced, not a whole lot happens, but at the same time, you're at the spots you need to be really fast. He gets you there really quickly as a director. So it's an interesting film. I just wish there was more of the money on screen. And yes, I wanted more zombies. And the frights when they happen, and the storyline of these zombies that, you know, they've been blasted with this wave from this bomb, has screwed up their brain chemistry or something like that, is interesting. And so I really applaud Zack for doing that. Look, I'm looking out for this guy. I'm rooting for his film. I hope other people go and see it, but it is a little bit of a mixed bag, and the spoilers are just kind of crazy, and I had to talk about them. So that's my review of We Bury the Dead. Please go support it in cinemas. Give Australian cinema a go. So, and because I'm doing my zombie film, I really wanted to check out Zack's, and I hope it really goes well for him, and I look forward to see what he does in the future. Guys, if you've liked this, leave your comments below. Have you gone to see We Bury the Dead? Are you planning on going to see it? And if so, what did you think of it if you have seen it? Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe as well. Until next time, look deeper into film. Thank you for watching this film review at Stevie G Talks Movies. And remember, guys, if you haven't already, tap the bell notification button and subscribed. This is your chance to do so now. Until next time, I'll catch you later. And don't forget, always look deeper into film.